Good morning, children. Welcome to your social studies class. In today's class, we will discuss the rest of the chapter that we had started earlier. The name of the chapter is India, a Beautiful Country. In our last class, we discussed about mountains and plains. Now in today's class, we will discuss the rest of the physical features of India. They are coastal plains, plateaus, deserts, islands. So, we will discuss about these four topics. So, let's start with the first topic of today, that is coastal plains. In the last class, we talked about northern plains, and today we will talk about coastal plains. Now, what is the difference? Coastal plains are narrow strips of plain land along the coast. This is the picture of the southern part of our country. Now, we have sea around this part. So, we have coast along these two areas. Here, we have narrow strip of plain land along the coast. So, we can find coastal plains in these two areas. Now, if you look closely, in the eastern part, the name of the plain is Eastern Coastal Plain. Eastern Coastal Plain. And in the western part, the name of the coastal plain is Western Coastal Plain. So, we have two narrow strip of plain land, and these two plains meet at Kanyakumari. Kanyakumari is the place where these two coastal plains meet. Now, many rivers flow through these plains. The name of the rivers are Narmada, Tapi, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. So these are the rivers of South India, and they flow through these coastal plains. So we have two coastal plains, the Eastern Coastal Plain and the Western Coastal Plain. And these rivers are all the rivers of South India. They flow through these coastal plains. Now we will talk about the plateaus of our country. Now we will talk about plateaus. Now, what is a plateau? Plateau is a high-raised land with a flat top. Plateau looks something like this. It has a flat top and slope on the all sides. This is also called tableland. So, the other name of plateau is tableland. Now in India, where do we have plateaus? In the southern part. This is the southern part of India. This part looks like a cone. Like a cone. In this part, we have the plateau. That is called Southern Plateau or Deccan Plateau. as we have discussed that it is a high-rised land with a flat top. Now this part is also surrounded by mountains on three sides. On three sides we have mountain ranges. On the north it has Vindhya Parbat. In the western part it has Western Ghats. In the eastern parts it has Eastern Ghats. So this plateau is surrounded by mountain ranges on three sides. Another fact is that this part is also surrounded by water bodies on three sides. In the west we have Arabian Sea, in the east we have Bay of Bengal, and in the south we have Indian Ocean. So this part of land is surrounded by water bodies on three sides. This kind of landforms are called peninsula, and this is called Indian Peninsula. This part is called Indian Peninsula. Now, in this part, we have many rivers. The names of the rivers I have mentioned in the last part. Now, these rivers depend on rainwaters. They do not have snow melt water in it. So they depend on rainwater throughout the year. Another two features of this part is that it has hard and rocky soil, and the soil is less fertile. So not much crops can be grown in this part. So some of the features are hard and rocky soil, less fertile soil, and rivers depend on rainwater. So this was all about plateaus. Now we will move on to deserts. Now we will talk about desert. Now what is a desert? Desert is an extremely hot and dry area. I have summarized some of the features of desert. Let's look at them. The first feature is it is land of sand. The next feature is it is very hot and dry. The area is very hot and it is very dry. Now, the next one, that is no rainfall. We can see very little rainfall or no rainfall at all in deserts. So, this makes the whole area very dry. As a result, few crops are grown in this area. Cactus babul trees. Some of the special trees like cactus, babul are found here. Not many trees can be found in a desert. Some special kind of trees can be seen. Few rivers flow. We can hardly find any river in a desert. And if we find one, they are very irregular. Water is very scarce in these areas. So life is very difficult in a desert. So these were some of the points that defines desert. In our country, in the northwestern part in the state of Rajasthan, we have the Great Indian Desert. The name of the Great Indian Desert is Thar Desert. Thar Desert. It is the only desert that can be found in our country, and it is situated in the state of Rajasthan. Now we will talk about islands. Now we will discuss about island. Now what is an island? Island is a piece of land surrounded by water on all sides. Unlike the peninsula, it has water on all sides. And in the case of peninsula, the land has water on three sides. That is the basic difference of island and peninsula. Now in India, we have two kinds of island. The first one is in the Bay of Bengal, that is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And the second one is in the Arabian Sea, and that is called Lakshadweep. So Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep, these are the two islands that can be found in India. So this was all about island. Now we will talk about the climate of India. As we all know, India is a country of diversity. Likewise, the climate of India is also very diverse throughout the country. This is basically because of the fact that the physical feature of India is so different throughout the country. So, where there is mountain, the weather is cold throughout the year. But where there is plains, the weather is hot summer and cold winter. In deserts, it is extreme hot summer and extreme cold winter. And in the coastal plains, we can experience moderate climate. So, these were the different kinds of climates that we can find in our country. Just like the climate, the amount of rainfall also differs from place to place. In the case of mountain, plains, coastal areas, the amount of rainfall is quite satisfactory. But in the case of desert, we can hardly see rainfall. So, this was all about the climate. And with this, we have come to the end of this chapter. I will end my class here, and don't forget to read your book. I will meet you in my next class. Till then, goodbye.